Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Saturday Sketch Cards. My name is Sue Sanders, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. This will be airing on January 24th, 2026. It is number 3 in my sketch cards for the year of 2026. Let me get this straightened up a little bit here. Okay, couple things that I want to still remind you of is bonus days is still going on, and you can order $50 worth of products up until February 2nd and earn a $5 coupon for every $50 that you spend. Great deal. Just remember that you will need to keep the email that you receive from Stampin' Up! That has that code on it, or you will not be able to redeem it. So I just want to make sure that everybody remembers to keep that email, print it off, save it in a place that you won't forget, so that come February 3rd, you will be able to redeem those $5 coupons that you earned. There is no limit on how many that you can earn, so you can place several orders or you can place one big order and get those coupons. Okay? All right. Now, because I am recording this earlier in the month of January, if you can get a $75 order gathered, you will want to order this fabulous saying stamp set if it is still available for the January product of the month. If it is sold out already, I do apologize, but I am trying to set a goal for myself this year that I will record videos ahead of time and then just have them go live on certain days. So I can't ever tell if this will still be in by the time this video is released on the 24th of January. All right. Mini Catalog has debuted in January, and you can order from this until April of 2026. There's lots of fun and exciting projects and products in this as well. So if you have not got a mini catalog, you can go out and view it online as a PDF. You can go to Suzie Q Stamping at stampinup.com. And you'll be taken right to my shopping page where I would love to be your demonstrator. Okay, so all of that business stuff is taken care of, I should say. Let's move on to today's sketch card. After I designed this sketch, I must have liked it a lot because I realized that I had made this sketch back in September of 2025. But this time I have a couple of examples, extra examples. I have got something in my sweatshirt that, it's like one of them plastic tags or something. I don't know, but it's itching me. So this is the sketch that we're going to work off of. And so I challenged myself and Dorothy, my lovely daughter / assistant, to design extra cards to show you. So this is a card that Dorothy designed using the airplane set that was in. She really likes this set. She's made several cards with it in the last couple of weeks. It is not available anymore, but another one of my goals this year is to use what you have. So I encourage you to use up the supplies that you have in your stash. Yes, I'm going to still be ordering more product because I love product. I love new product. However, we at some point have to say we have to use what we have. So one of my goals is to show you that not only while you purchase more supplies, start using some of those older supplies. You can use discontinued papers to make your sketch card to keep in your book. This is one of my books that I have, and it's, as you can see, it's already filled with very different designs. We may go back and be visiting those because I don't know how many I've had in my past videos. But anyway, this is the design. So Dorothy designed that one, and then this is one that I designed, and it's just a simple, there is hope, even when your brain tells you otherwise. I've had several friends lose a family member last year, and so I know that as those dates come up, they're going to be feeling kind of sad. So I wanted to have some cards made up that I could send to them. This one here is flying by to say hi. You're the best, plain and simple. I think she has someone in mind to send that to as a birthday card. All right, so this is our sketch, and it takes a 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock, scored at 4 1/4. You have a large layer 1 that is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. You have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 4 3/4 inch. You have a layer that is 3 by 3, and then you have your focal point or designer series paper that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. 2 weeks ago, I did a sketch card, and it was being done with the Everyday Happiness paper. I wanted to kind of follow through. After all, I need to use up my paper, so we're going to use that again to make this sketch card. I forgot to add, you do need an inside piece if you're not doing it on a light enough color cardstock that you can stamp directly on. I happen to like adding that extra inside cardstock for my stamping and things. Okay, so let's get started. So this is my layer. This is my layer, and it's going to go laid down here like this. Then I think I forgot to add. I did. Oh, there it is. I embossed this piece. I'm sorry, you don't need a piece of white for the layer. I embossed my large layer, and it's going to be set down on my card front, just like so. So let's go ahead and adhere that. So while working with different card sketches, if you make a card using this sketch this week, please post it out there to Suzie Q's Facebook page. I would love to see what you have designed and how you coordinate your products. So I'm going to lay this down here, just kind of eyeballing it to make sure that it's in the center of my card front. Then we're going to come in with these 2 layers, and I cut these so that I have a little bit of the polka dot and the little stripe on each side. So we're going to put the polka dots going out towards the edges of our card, like so. So we'll lay those down. I don't think I can put adhesive down with my mouse. Okay, so this just gets kind of laid down like this, and you're going to have one that is a little bit longer and shorter at the top, and then this piece will be a little bit longer at the top and shorter at the bottom. It's a very easy sketch card. I am finding myself, ladies, that I get into a rut, and that is, just using some designer series paper and some cardstock, maybe a die cut or so, and just putting a card together that's very simple. So I am having to work my brain to get some different ideas. This piece here is going to get laid down between those 2 strips. See how easy this is going together? And I love how this paper coordinates. It does have the color Wild Wheat in it, which is what I used for my background here. Wild Wheat is not in any longer. However, my old saying that I'm going to do this year is use what you have. And so since I had just a few sheets of Wild Wheat, I decided to go ahead and use Wild Wheat for my cards, my sketch cards. Use what you have. And if you would like to purchase new product, I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Just contact me by email, SuzieQStamping@gmail.com. Now I'm just going to lay this piece down on top of that. Oops, not that way. On an angle, or on, this one goes on an angle. This one gets laid down flat so that you get to still see some of that designer series paper underneath there. Voila, there is the front of our card. Now let's go to the fun part, and we're going to stamp. So we are going to stamp thank you, and we're going to stamp that in our Pretty Peacock, which is our card base color. Okay. And this card with the measurements will be posted on my YouTube channel. I will put in the description the measurements for it. So we're going to put thanks on the front of this card. And this piece of paper is just a scrap of white that measures 2.5 by 3/4 of an inch. And I'm taking one of the mini punches, and this was a set of 3, and I'm going to poke a little hole, or I'm going to punch a hole in the top of this. Hopefully. Nope, I'm not, because I didn't check it out. It's not going to work. So let me grab another piece of scrap of white. Oh, there it is. Off onto my desk. We're just going to do this. Then it is, I say that was 2.5. So we're going to just trim this off a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'll wait and trim it after I stamp it, and then that way I know where I need to. We are just going to stamp our thanks again. We're going to leave a little bit of extra over here on this side, because we're going to tie a little bow over here with some linen thread, just to kind of dress it up a little bit on the front. Just going to cut me, oops, I think I have a piece of scrap here that I can use, yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of wrap this linen thread around my label here. Bringing both ends to the front. I'm going to put a little bit of tape here, or the stamp bit of seal, so that it's got something to hold on to back there. Just going to attach that to the back of that. Now I'm going to run it around. Run this one around. Whoops, well, would you stay in place? Goodness sakes. And now, very carefully, I'm going to try to tie a bow. It might end up being just a knot, but with my tweezers here. Holding that tight. And I'm going to push all that thread together. Yeah, a little scrap may not have been enough for me to tie a bow. But we shall see. Oh, don't lose it. Oh, I lost that little end. Okay, let's try this again. For the longest time, I hadn't been doing bows on lives or records because they don't work out so much all the time. So let's not wrap it. Let's just tie our bow so that I have enough to grab a hold of. The twine seems to give me more problems tying than the ribbon does. Oops, better get that off there since there's sticky stuff on the back of that. I'm going to just put my little tweezers there to hold that center for me tight. Come on. Sometimes when tying bows, you need to have 4 hands, right? I mean, really. And my old hands are not working like they used to, because it used to be not a problem for me to tie bows. But lately, it seems like my fingers and my hands don't want to coordinate and work with my brain. Come on. There, we gotcha. There we go. Okay, now we can futz with this bow. I can keep it in my hands. And we're going to just pull those ends to where we like it. Pulling it tight. Always keep trying to pull it tight, and then you can keep fussing with your ends, because then you can trim those off with that. We're just going to trim those off. So there we have our little bow. Not necessarily going the direction that I want it to go, but we'll see if we can get that fixed. Little big loop there. There we go. And we're going to add a gem to this so that it kind of holds that in place for us. Trim that off a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take some, and I had them out here earlier recording. What did I do with my dimensionals? I think I put them away. Imagine that. And I'm just going to use some mini dimensionals to put on the back of this. I'm going to use 3 of them. Come on. These little ones are so persnickety at times. They want to just fall out of my hands. And yes, I probably should be using my Take Your Pick tool to do this. Makes it much easier. All right. So this is number 3 in my series of Saturday sketches. And we are going to put this right down here, a little off the edge. All right, now we're going to take some embellishments, if I can find those, because I just had them. There they are. Oh, there's the dimensionals I was looking for. How many of you worked in a clutter mess? I work in a clutter. Dorothy does not. She has to clean up her space all the time. Not me. I think for this one, I'm going to use some of these little gold gems. These are retired, but use what you got. They're always coming out with some fabulous, fabulous product, but sometimes we need to just use up our stash. And I'm going to add 5 to this card instead of just 4, or instead of just 3. So there's 4 there, and I'm going to add another one down here. Okay, so there's the front of it. Now we're going to do the inside of it, and I am going to put I appreciate you. Before I do that, though, I'm going to take a big leaf stamp, and we're going to stamp it. We're going to stamp it off twice. I'm sorry, we're going to stamp it off once, and then stamp it in the center of our card, like so. Then we are going to stamp full strength, I appreciate you. And this is the pretty peacock. Put that right kind of in the center of our leaf. And then just to add something to the bottom of this, and because I like this saying, we're going to add another greeting down here at the bottom, down in the corner. And it says, "Friends are flowers in the garden of life." And I have met so many wonderful friends during my journey of Stampin' Up. I am celebrating my 5th year this year. So I'm trying to think of some new and exciting things to celebrate my 5-year anniversary that I joined in January of 2021, right, what you could say, the middle of the COVID pandemic. All right, so there we have our sketch card for today. So let me move all this out of the way. I want to bring back in those other 2 sketch cards that dealt with this sketch. And as you can see, all of them take on a different look depending on the paper that you use and the stamp sets that you use, what embellishments and all of that. So that is the sketch card for today, January 24th. I hope that you continue watching these on Saturdays. Make the sketch cards, post them out to my Facebook page, Suzie Q's Stamping. I'd love to see what you're doing. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great week. Bye.